Paul Roberts, at the conclusion of the Klotho conference here at UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Centers, we've said 100 times and we'll say once more, Klotho, what an amazing protein, and its cutting-edge possibilities here to cure cancer, to fight Parkinson's and aging and grow hair and doing a million other things. Pretty wild. This is hard to believe. This was the first Klotho conference ever put together, and here's the man that put it together, Howard Leonhardt from Leonhardt Health. Welcome.
Well, first of all, I'm one of the people, of the many people that worked.
Well, it was your inspiration. Yeah, right. It was a team that put it together, but you really have said for a while, as you've said to me, this is something that should be discussed and debated and dissected over and over again. This is life-changing.
You know, it's very few things have over 4,300 scientific and clinical papers published and are this unknown.
Yeah, exactly.
Well overdue.
Right.
And, what an honor to all of us to have the original discoverer of Klotho, Professor Klotho, here.
He was here.
To have Carmela Abraham, Dr. Dina DeBal. These are recognized pioneers in our
These could be future Nobel Prize winners for what they're doing here.
We mentioned in the conference that we may have had up to 3 Nobel Prize winners in this inaugural conference, and what an honor to us and to the other organizers who invited most of these esteemed speakers.
Go see some of our other interviews with Howard. He works here at the same building we do, UCI Beal Applied Innovation Center. He's in the lab. I have our studio here. And he keeps telling me, Klotho, Klotho, Klotho. And I'm like, what is Klotho? What is Klotho?
Well, yeah, we reinforced some of what we knew already, and we learned new information at this conference. But basically, if you're low in circulating Klotho, and Klotho is produced in your muscle, your kidneys, and somewhere in the brain.
It's like a protein or something.
It's a protein. Right. And if you're low, the body of this work and the body of this conference establishes that you're aging more rapidly than you should, which nobody really wants. And the hard part of that is...
And all the things that go with it, the deterioration of the brain, the deterioration of the body, deterioration of the skin, deterioration of just about every organ in your body here.
So all the aging-related elements, which are well known to most of us who have seen loved ones age, it will hit you earlier in your life. And if... this is the early stage, as the first conference, to start sharing the data that shows one bit of data that is well established. If you're low, that's really bad, right, and you're aging more rapidly than you should. Now we're trying to prove that if you elevate Klotho, and there was a number of papers presented at this conference that give us more encouragement. And it's, as you started to say, from the tip of your head to your toes. If you're low in Klotho, you're going to lose your hair, your cognition, your memory, a higher chance of strokes, perhaps. Going down, your face is going to wrinkle more. Your breathing isn't going to be as good.
Sexual function, hair, everything goes through your whole body here. All right.
Higher chances of cancer.
Yeah.
Heart health, kidney health.
So what's
something to be really serious about? We think that everybody should have their Klotho tested, and everybody should have a plan to keep their Klotho level up. You don't want to be below 588 pgml. If you're in that range,
we never measure it.
Dangerous.
I get a physical every year. Nobody says, they say, what's my PSA for prostate? Nobody ever asks me, or my cholesterol numbers. Nobody ever asks me what my Klotho number is. I don't think they ever measured it. I'm not sure the doctor knows.
Well, that's part of our responsibility here of the leaders of the field and the conference participants. And the reason we held the conference is to try to increase that awareness. And, of course, we have regulatory bodies, and we have to navigate through, what can be said, what can be done. And we're trying to do that. We're trying to do it properly. Almost all the studies are institutional review board approved. Almost all of them have data safety monitoring boards. Almost all of them required patient consent.
Oh, yeah, this isn't anecdotal evidence. This is real research. It was hard for me to follow as they're showing charts of all the clinical trials and what happened and what didn't happen as they break all this stuff down. But the takeaway for me was Klotho could be kind of a magic switch that underlies all of this aging process. Is that too much to say?
Well, we're the first to admit there's not one silver bullet that conquers aging, but we think it's a very important contributor. And this was, really amazing. And to have world-class researchers present their data, to talk about the future, to even criticize a little bit, what we could do better. And one of the things we could do better is get the word out better.
Yeah, that seems the biggest one. All right, so I heard how people are using Klotho the guy from University of Pittsburgh talking about traumatic brain injury. People were talking about gene therapy. They were talking about might kill cancer, how antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and all the other fields, brain health, gut health, everything. What was the takeaway for you? What was the surprise? Because you know this stuff in and out for the most part. A lot of these people do, but you've never gotten together with all these people in one room and really talked about it. Anything that just off the top of your head comes into mind and says, that was amazing, I didn't know that, or I learned something today.
It's hard to pinpoint because there's so many great speakers, but Dr. Christian Fall's paper from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, where he highlighted how phosphate diet is really detrimental to keeping your Klotho levels up.
Flushes it out.
And it's making me think, like, I got to pay attention, and I'm going to look more on the labels of what's phosphate increasing, and I
the phosphate in Coca-Cola to keep it fresh, and
I didn't
pizza.
even know phosphate was in Coca-Cola until I saw that. So that's one of the takeaways.
Right. That struck me too. We did talk to him here, and I hadn't thought of that. You could hear a pin drop during that, because I don't think anybody. There's another thing, people don't think about what's your phosphate level and what that impacts in your body here.
And more appropriately, other than for myself, where I want to adapt my diet, we have the X Prize Health Span competition, and we're enrolling in the Leonhardt Health Klotho Wellness Program. And now, after seeing this, I'm going to slightly adapt our already in place commitment to have healthy Klotho favoring diet. And now I'm going to ask our nutritionist consultants to confirm with me that the diet we're recommending in the food. We have a food delivery partnership with Metabolic Meals, Tempo, and Well 12.
This is in your 6 or 8, what have you got, 6 or 8 of these well spas around the country, one here and other places?
2 that we control ourselves, one in Newport Beach and one in New York, and then we have 6 other licensed locations. And a number of our potential licensees came here, and at least from what they told me, it looks like we have 4 or 5 more licensed locations that came out of this conference.
And I thought it was interesting, I don't know if we go too deep into this, we'll have to do a full podcast on this, but you yourself said there are people working on regenerative medicine of life extension companies. Not all of them have succeeded, because that's a big task to get somebody to understand the science and get into this. So you're starting with the stuff everybody wants as they get older. Hair, joints, sexual function, certain things. Talk about that, what you do at your med spas here. Well, and that's sort of an introduction then to the whole topic of Klotho and what it can do even bigger, right?
That's true. And I think you were referring to that some studies came out trying to analyze why some of the early longevity focused clinics failed.
Yeah, right. A couple of big ones.
Forward Health raised $400 million and shocked everyone by closing their door. I think they had 90 locations or something, a big number. I didn't talk about it in the conference, but the short version of that, when we analyze it, too much emphasis on diagnosis and telling you that you're getting old, but not anything to fix it. And so people count on after going to that clinic, like, hey, okay, you did a blood test and you're telling me I'm getting old, but you didn't offer me anything to fight against it or to make it better. So we think that you have to have a therapeutic intervention, you have to do something, and you have to prove that what you're doing actually is good.
And I hate to say it, if you go to somebody and say, I'm going to prevent Alzheimer's. Okay, great, maybe. But I'm thinking I'm not going to get that. But I'm getting hair loss. I'm getting skin problems. I'm getting all these other aging signs. Can't you help me with the obvious things, what would seem to be the easy things? And that seems to be what you're starting with.
That is part of our strategy, is that to get people in the door and to make it a business. We have investors, and we say in our clinic, skin brings people in. And,
it does. It does.
And then it has multiple ramifications to it. One is that the people that come in are the ones that take time and money to try to improve themselves, and that likely could be somebody that we could enroll in our longevity wellness program.
And you're sitting there for this treatment. Maybe we can start a discussion of how this can really extend your life here.
That is so true, and they say that the number one hindrance of people entering a longevity health span program is trust.
Right.
It sounds too good to be true. They don't know you.
Fountain of youth. It can't all work. Yeah, right.
And the other thing is, it can't be properly communicated in a little 2-minute snip, or not even 2 minute, 2-second snip. Skin regeneration can be, communicated, before or after, less wrinkles.
Hair loss or
And
something.
the other thing that we talked about is referrals. That if somebody goes out in the community and their skin looks better, their hair looks thicker, their muscles look more toned. Somebody said, "What are you doing?" And they say, "Oh, I went to the Leonhardt Longevity and Wellness Clinic." That is a way to get referrals. And then again, when people come in, we unabashedly, if they want to hear about it, when they're getting their 45-minute skin treatment, we'll bring up, hey, you're committed to your health and beauty. We want to, if it's okay, we'll tell you more about this wellness program.
And the science behind what we're doing here can work for other things and more serious things and more potentially life-impacting things.
Yeah, and we have very few people that say, no, I'm not interested in living longer.
Just fix my
I'm
hair.
not interested in being healthy. I just want to be unhealthy and die early and have a lot of pain. We don't get a lot of people that say that. Usually they're, oh, okay. You mean less pain, less knee pain, might live longer, be around to see my kids and grandkids, do more things, more time with my family and friends. But they're skeptical.
Yeah.
That's where well-designed clinical trials and credibility of people and
I was skeptical that you could bring all these people together in one room because they've all been working same idea but in different fields in different areas of the country, different pathways. You're also in your thing doing biostimulation in these suits so you can stimulate the growth of Klotho. Other people are talking about injections or topicals or other sorts of things. There are lots of ways to add more Klotho to your body. Exercise can do it. Yep. So it seems like there was finally a coming together of everybody. Everybody wasn't fighting it. They're like this and, not this or. Everybody seemed to say, well, we should look at all of these things. We should explore every aspect of this thing because this has really the chance to potentially extend life and have people live not longer, but not just longer, but better.
That is absolutely true. And there are a few indications that seem to not have anything to do with aging. It was reported, if you're low in Klotho, higher chance to be addicted to alcohol and other substances. If you're low on Klotho, higher chance to be depressed. And that can happen at any age.
Right.
And again, back to that study of how we're going to succeed with longevity and wellness clinics, the people that have analyzed it said one problem we have is that if you tell people to spend money and time now, but you're going to thank us 20, 30 years from now,
yeah, right.
It's a long time to wait. They don't have that kind of...
No payoff. Sure.
So we're starting to change our marketing into, we hope you have better cognitive function right now, better memory right now. If you're a CEO, you're going to do better at your job. If you're an athlete, you're going to do better at your athletics. You're going to feel better right now. Your friends and family are going to notice that your skin has less wrinkles, your hair is thicker, your body's more toned, and that's going to kind of make your social life better. So they're telling us to veer the marketing away from 20 or 30 years from now, you're going to thank us if you spend a bunch of money and time now, to you're going to get something right now.
Right, and something
of course, we got to do that within the bounds of the FDA
exactly.
and not say anything that goes beyond the line of what's appropriate to say.
Well, last thing I'm going to ask you about, you did a quick presentation on this here today. Your end goal is nothing less than a human womb, a place that you could, sort of like a chamber, it looks like a hyperbaric chamber to me or something, but you put your body in there and somehow you infuse, you grow, you stimulate Klotho all over your body and you come out what? Younger?
Well,
I know this is a far off.
This is on record, and I'm absolutely convinced without, in my mind, a shadow of a doubt that 30, 40, 50 years from now, whole body regeneration chambers will absolutely be the norm, and it will greatly reduce the number of doctors and nurses and drugs that will be sold and used and hired. It will shut down a number of hospitals. I've had friends say, don't say that.
And the body will rejuvenate itself, because the example, one of them talked about how, I didn't know, a fetus in the womb can regenerate. If they've done studies where they scratch its face or do something and it can generate, but somewhere along the way, as we age and grow up, we lose that ability. The body loses that ability through something shutting off, through not having enough of something. You're still all trying to figure it out. Somehow we can't regenerate anymore here. Your hope is that we can regenerate, maybe not forever, but certainly to extend life and make life better.
Yes, and we plan to use all the tools that nature and biology bring, placental fluid, amniotic fluid, stem cells, bioelectric signaling, and we believe you're made of cells, and to us it makes perfect sense that you should repair yourself with cells.
And that the body has it, but rather than injecting, doing something to the body, whatever that term is called, you're letting the body heal itself.
Yep, and then we talked about that, most of human history we grew up in tribal, and we're still kind of in a tribal system.
Very much so. I'm sorry to say, I shouldn't laugh at that.
The way evolution developed for the survival of the tribe is that if you started not being useful, biology wanted to kill you off.
Yeah.
If you didn't have your muscles,
no
didn't have
purpose,
your cognitive function, no longer had sexual capacity, it was better for the tribe probably for you to kill off. Now somebody could argue, well, the wisdom of an older person,
right?
But biology somehow didn't give that a lot of credit. No. And what we see is
time for you to go.
As you stop, and your muscles go away, and you stop solving problems, and when you stop solving problems, your brain starts to deteriorate. Then somehow a trigger kicks in. One of those triggers is lowering your Klotho, and it basically is telling nature, we want to kill you off and make room for the new. Yeah. There's only so much food.
Time to phase you out.
Quick.
Right.
And
expiration date has arrived, and yeah.
So the more positive side of that is, and that's what we're trying to communicate, is if you want to live longer and healthier, fool Mother Nature, and you're still useful for the tribe. And that means use your muscles, get up, move around, use your brain, solve problems. Right. I've known a number of people that retired, stopped solving problems, stopped moving around.
Stop having a purpose.
Their knees were getting sore, so they stopped taking stairs, they stopped walking, and they quickly deteriorated, and we lost them.
Seen a million times like that. It used to be the retirement story. Now you're rewiring. Is this all part of that biohacking thing I hear everybody talking about? Joe Rogan, everybody's always talking about biohacking. My body's a giant computer, and I just got to hack into the system and trick it into doing better.
There's some validity to that. I don't use that term often, but I know of that term. I prefer focus on regeneration with cells and with bioelectric protein expressions. But
so you have
there's a place for everybody in the field, and we love anybody that spreads the word about actively getting involved. One thing I've learned about this whole process is that if you actively get involved with your own health, you greatly increase your chance that you're going to have a healthier 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. If you don't do that,
it'll decline.
You're likely heading to decline and pain, and we've seen that.
I don't want to go there. I saw that with my parents. I don't want to see that with me. So I welcome the work you're doing. I'm excited to hear what's going on. I was blown away. As much as I struggled to understand some of the scientific papers presented and the data, I got the takeaway that this isn't science fiction anymore. This is the future is here today and coming quickly.
Well said. I would agree. We have more work to do. This is a group of researchers. We don't say that we figured out everything and that it's all solved and the work is done. It's the beginning of a new stage of work, but 4,300 published papers.
And maybe the new stage, somebody said at the end, this is regenerative medicine is the new frontier of medicine. We tended to think it was just for generations. It's been find a pill, find a procedure, we're going to extend your life through that. Now it's through using the body to regenerate itself.
Again, well said. And we have to work within the regulatory bodies to get this to move from animals to humans. Some of it already has, and that's why we got to see some clinical data. But everybody agrees that we need more clinical data for all these indications of use, whether it's the brain or the heart or the kidney or the skin or the blood pressure. We have some data that gives us encouragement that we're going in the right direction. But we also
still confusion.
Some confusion, and not all the results. So we just did some testing with the Klotho patch. I had to share with our group here that the Klotho patch first experiments failed.
Right.
We thought we could put a patch loaded with Klotho in a pod, and we could
stick it.
Electroporation penetrate it into the muscle and get a good result, and we weren't getting even through the skin. So we got to go back to the drawing board if we're going to continue in that path, or we have to decide to discard that particular method and focus on something else. So not all the experiments we do turn out to work out.
Well, this one did. What a conference! What a success! An incredible 2-day event here at UCI Beals Applied Innovation Center. Brought to you by OC Talk Radio. I'm still reeling. I'm still trying to understand it, but stay tuned. We're going to bring you more updates on this amazing breakthrough and the work that's being done in this world as we report from the first Klotho conference.
Thanks for watching, everybody.